Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on so that you can get the latest notification about my new tutorials.
Hello and welcome to Forward League's walkthrough videos. Today I'm going to talk about Linux Mint. It's a new journey for me I am going to start with. So in my tutorials I'm going to talk about Linux Mint. It's a community funded version of Linux, free of cost. You can download. It comes with three different editions of desktops. So it comes with Cinnamon, it comes with Mate and XFCE. Of course, we are going to talk about what are the differences between all three of them. This is a community funded, as I said, so it's free. You can download anytime. You can play around with this. It's a good tool to work with, just as a lightweight operating system. And the good part is you can have dual boot for your Windows and Linux Mint at the same time. So if we talk about Linux Mint, the latest version of Linux Mint is basically um, Tricia, which is the code name of Linux Mint, Tricia 19.3. And if we talk about system requirements of Linux, um, it's almost same for all three versions. At least 1 GB of RAM. You can have 2 GB, which would be like recommended one, 15 GB of disk space, and resolution, low resolution also it works with. So you can download 64-bit, 32-bit edition of any one of the Linux flavors of Linux Mint. So you can download Cinnamon edition, you can download Mate edition, and you can download XFCE also. So if we talk about which version to go with, you just need to have a look at this, which talks about what is the difference between Cinnamon, Mate, and XFCE. So if you look over here, Cinnamon is the most modern, innovative, and full-featured desktop. And if you look over here, it has quite good graphics and enrich color coding scheme. You have capability to customize the coloring and your graphics across your desktops. This is the most popular version of the Linux Mint if you look at around all this thing. And basically, this is the main Linux which is developed uh, by and for Linux Mint. Beautiful architecture, beautiful desktop. You have multiple ways to do it, and it has more innovative development over there. Linux Mint, which also has Mate Edition, again, it's developed by Linux Mint. Uh, it has a classic desktop environment. If you look over here, you probably would feel the difference between Linux Cinnamon and Linux Mate. You can simply see it's faster, it runs faster, it uses less resources, of course. I would say more stable than Cinnamon, but it's not like that Cinnamon is not stable operating system. Of course, it is stable operating system, but when we compare between Cinnamon and Mate, so we would rate Mate little higher in terms of the resource utilization and stable product. Then we have XFCEs, which is the lightweight edition of the Linux Mint. It's it does not support as many features as Linux Cinnamon and Mate of the Mint flavor, but of course it has its own desktop, very lightweight. Each version of Linux Mint has its own significance. You can have any version of it based on your look and feel, based on your taste, based on your requirement. How do you feel which one would suit you better? If you would like to go and download Linux Mint, it's very easy. You can go to Linux Mint website. The website is linuxmint.com. You have option to download over here. The version is which I said is available, latest version which is released as 19.3. Code name is Tricia, but there is another version which is in beta release, which is called Olayana. That's also available for Mate, Cinnamon, and XFCE for beta release. You can get that also if you would like to test it, try it out. up to you. Otherwise, you can just simply go to download link of it, and you would find all the versions available over here. You have Cinnamon, Mate, and XFCE. You can download 32-bit, 64-bit, whichever edition you feel you would like to go with. It would give you the size of it, and of course the download links which you would need in order to download. You can choose any of the link, um, maybe based on your nearest country, based on your preference. You can download this easily from any of the websites. So let's say if I click on any of the link over here, it would directly start the download for me. So this is very easy. You can just simply start downloading it from any of these links, and once the download is complete, of course you have capability to even verify your ISO image which is downloaded. So Linux Mint has provided complete documentation how you can verify your ISO image. You can simply just download the SHA-256 sums provided by Linux Mint available over here, and then you can just compare your SHA-256 which you can generate through simple commands, and just verify if the downloaded one is authentic or not, or its integrity you can simply check. So this was just a brief about Linux Mint. Of course, in my upcoming videos, I would be talking about uh, different ways you can run Linux Mint, which desktops you can install. As I said, we have Cinnamon, we have Mate, and we have XFCE. Whatever you feel is basically what you need, you can just simply download. They have these versions have extended support till 2030, 23. So these all versions have like 19.3 and 19.2 and 19.1 and 19. All these versions which are under 19 has their extended support, long-term support, not extended, of course, long-term support till 2023. Then the one which is going to come up still in beta phase is going to have its long-term support till 2025. So this is just a brief introduction about Linux Mint. Of course, we are going to talk about installation of the Linux Mint, and more details how you can customize Linux Mint if you want to have different dashboard and stuff like that. Just to talk about Linux Mint 19.13, what features it has come up with. It has new features, of course, included in it. So it has system reports, which would definitely give you at the glimpse if you have any hardware driver issues, if you have any multimedia codec missing, or you have any language packs which are missing, or even if there are any updates which you feel, which system would feel that they are missing, it would point it out to you. That's something which is there. You have capability to do language setting, and even now you can set up the time format according to your company. It has HIP support, which is again included in this version. It has replaced XPlayer with celluloid for the default multimedia player. A Gnote, which helps to keep the notes and stuff for your quick notes, which actually has replaced Tom Boy from the previous edition. Then it has its own drawing tool. You can download 3D tools, and there are a lot of different applications which you can simply download from the software package manager, which we are probably going to look at in the videos which we are going to have later in the later phase. You have Cinnamon 4.4 for this. Again, you have capability to do configuration as per your preferences for the visibility. You have other improvements. The good part is you can customize the theme. You can change the symbolic things. You have capability even to change the so you have even capability to change the icons, so artwork is good. So it's a complete package altogether, and you will see there are a lot of new features they have improved and they have included. Their system improvement part is there, so you have capability to detect the hardware using the hardware detection tool that's also there, and some artwork, as I said. um, and you have capability to change the boot sequence. I mean, you can create the boot menu, which is actually redesigned in this version. So you can have multi-boot, as I said earlier. You have a lot of good desktops, graphics which you can use. So this is what all about uh, in the new version. So basically, as I said, the main component what we are using in Linux Mint is basically Linux kernel 5.0 and an Ubuntu 18.04 package base. This is what this Cinnamon 4.4 is made up of. Thank you for watching this brief introduction about Linux Mint. I'm looking forward to start with Linux Mint tutorials, and hopefully you will see some good tutorials coming up. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much for watching for our next walkthrough videos. Please comment, subscribe to my channel, and let me know if you need to know more about any of the products I'm talking about.